Hi everybody, Alex here from Expert Forex, and in this video we are going to test the Make Money EA using MT4 and MT5 strategy tester. And why we're doing that is we want to teach our clients how to find their own settings using the strategy tester. Also, we have had quite a run on the Make Money EA. There's been a resurgence of traders purchasing the Make Money EA, so we've got a whole lot of new clients in, and I'm going to show you the settings that we supply, but I'm going to show you also how you can create your own personalized settings using the strategy testers. So let's have a look at what is the major difference between MT4 and MT5, and this is from a Google search. So that's all I typed in, what are the major differences, and here is the answer. The fundamental difference between MT4 and MT5 lies in their scope of intended use. So while MT4 is designed specifically for Forex trading, it has become the gold, and it has become the gold standard in this particular niche. And that's why I still stick with MT4. I do my optimizations on MT4, and that's what I use. But MT5 has been built for lots more use. It can trade many assets. It can trade stocks, commodities, indices, futures, and a whole lot of other things. But what that brings with it is a special order processing process, which is different from Forex trading. So Forex trading is 100% liquid. So if you want to buy the Euro USD, you just go and buy it. There's no argument, oh, we don't have enough stock or anything like that. But the minute you start coming to stocks, commodities, and indices and those kind of things, the brokers have to actually check on their stock levels and ability to deliver what you want to buy or sell. So what happens when you place an order in MT5 is it goes away and it says, let me check if the broker is happy with this transaction. So it adds that extra checking process. Then it comes back and says, yes, the broker's happy, it has enough stock, you can buy this. But in the process of me checking the availability of your purchase, the price has moved. Do you still want me to process your purchase? So it opens up a can of worms in a straightforward transaction. And that plays havoc with our MT5 EAs and also with the processing of transactions. And that's why, again, I stick to MT4. But you're going to see a much bigger reason why I use MT4 later on. I hope that helps you with understanding the main differences between the two platforms. Now, here are some other differences that I found in the process of actually making this video. Is that MT5 has its own tick data. So if you want to test something in using tick data, they've got their own one. I think it's from a specific broker, so it will not necessarily agree with your broker. Your broker might have different weekend cutoffs. It might have all kinds of different. It might have midnight. There's a lot of brokers have a 2-minute midnight cutoff where nothing happens and they reconcile all their transactions. There's a whole lot of problems when you're using other brokers' data. MT4 allows you to use 1-minute candles to test faster. Now I'll explain that later on when we actually do the optimizations. MT4 doesn't have that facility. The results presented are in nice table format by MT5. Not really that serious, but I import my optimized results into Excel for further analysis, and the table format is much better for Excel. MT5 is a bit faster, and that conclusion can vary, but on the whole it's a bit faster. The one problem I have is that MT5 does not show the drawdowns in dollars in the results, which as you'll see can be very inaccurate. MT5 has more testing options, which we'll see, But one of the biggest things that, again, why I'm an MT4 supporter is that MT5 can use a lot more resource. And when we say a lot more. And I'm going to show you a chart on that. And here we are. So I have a pretty strong machine, and I'll show you the specs for the machine that I use for testing. It's got 24 cores, and it's got I think it's got 64 megs and all kinds of other things. But here on this machine, I ran both MT4 and I ran MetaTrader 5. So MetaTrader 5 has a much more complicated way of testing, and it distributes the load between the 24 cores we're talking about here and churns away as it's optimizing. MT4 just uses the basic machine and does all its optimization on the basic machine. And look at the resource requirement. Now, MT5 is virtually using nothing. CPU, it's using a bit of memory there, but that's virtually nothing. But MT5 testing exactly the same test. We've set up the test identically, is using 4% CPU on every core. Now 4% times 24, you're using the whole machine. So at this stage, it's just luck that it's not at 100%. So that's why I don't like MT5. It chews resources. And why is that important? I do a lot of optimization, and I like optimizing running 12 optimization runs at the same time. So I can actually set up 12 tests at the same time. And when they're only using a small amount of the CPU, I can test incredible amounts of optimizations in an hour. I can most probably run 30 optimizations and get the results and rerun them or retest them and do all kinds. Whereas with MetaTrader 5, you dedicated to one test, one machine type. And that's another reason why I'm not a fan of MT5. But that's not really the topic of this video. Let's go and have a look at how you can find your own settings being an owner of the Make Money EA. Firstly, you need to load the EA onto a chart and activate the license. It is licensed software. You have to put a code in to activate the license. Once the EA is activated, it can be then used in the strategy tester. You've got to understand the basic logic of the EA that you're going to be testing. No matter which EA you're testing, you need to have some idea of how the basic logic works. And as you'll see, I'll go through the basic settings. Basically, the Make Money is a trending EA. It uses two moving averages to point in the direction of the trend, and it uses the ADX to tell us, oh yes, this EA is trending. That's basically what it does. It has a lot of advanced features. It's got dynamic stops, dynamic targets, break-even stops, trailing stops. It's got a whole lot of other stuff, but basically that's the trading logic. All right, so then you have to make sure that the EA's DILs have been activated. Now, let me see, I might have a slide on that. So there's the slide. So what you do is you go into Tools on both MT4 and MT5. You go into Options, you go into Expert Advisors, and you make sure that automated trading is ticked, and you allow DILs. So this is one of the main causes for problems when testing using the strategy tester. Now for MT4, you have to load tick data into MT4. Now I use a very simple, I've been using for most probably now going on for 8 or 10 years, I've been using the tick data suite. Here is a video that tells you how this tick data suite works, and you can go and watch that video. And here's another video that shows the importance of using quality data. So there they are. one of the tricks that I've learned is that instead of watching a video for a whole hour, this one's an hour long, I just go to AI and I say, AI, please summarize this video for me in let's say 200 or 300 or 400 words, and it will do that for me. So that's just a tip that I have for you. But here are the details about how to get your quality data. And then load a meaningful test template. Now, a test template is basically you instructing the strategy tester of which settings you want to test and optimize. And I'm going to show you that in a little bit more detail. But let's go and have a look where you can find this test template. And to do that, I go to the expertforex.com website. There it is. It lists all our EAs and so on. But it says here, up-to-date robot results and settings. So we go into there and we click on that. And you can see a whole lot of EA results are shown. And the Make Money is the most profitable EA. It makes it has been optimized to produce $63,000 using $1,000 as the starting point. So, and this has been optimized from the 1st of July to the 1st of July the next year. So all we do is we then click on the Make Money, and then we see only the Make Money's details, and we just say okay. And there we are. There's the Make Money results, and there's the 63,000 that you can see there. And you can see how it's made up, what the drawdown is. You can see the drawdown is actually quite small compared to the result. And then here it shows all the settings that have come out of those optimizations. And then it also warns you not to trade these currencies because they're not suited to the Make Money EA. And then it goes down and actually shows you the equity charts. Now, I just want to stop with this particular equity chart because this is very important for you to understand how the Make Money works. It only works when there is a trend. Now, this is an equity chart of the whole year. And as you can see, luckily this one started with a very nice trend. This is the equity growth. So the equity growth went all up there. Now let's say you bought the Make Money there. You would have made a loss. The whole year long, it would have been a frustrating situation. You would have made a loss. So that's one of the weaknesses of the Make Money. It only makes money when there is a trend. Now, some of the currencies, as you can see, are smoother. You can see they go up quite nicely, and they produce a steady income. But it can be, as I've shown you before. But here's the topic of what I wanted to get to. It is the test template. This is the template that we use to do that optimization to find that $63,000. And basically what it says is those ticks say I want to test those input parameters, and you can go down, you can see it's testing the trailing stop, the dynamic target, and it's optimizing the ideal time to trade. So that you just tick all of those items. But what it's then saying is that, what do you want me to test about that, about the moving average, for instance? Then you say to it, well, I want to test the moving average settings that start with 10, have steps of 10. So in other words, the next item to be tested will be 20, and the next one after that 30, until you reach 200, at which case I want you to stop. So that's how the test template works. It's an instruction to the strategy tester, and it tells the strategy tester what to test. So there you are. There's the test template if you're looking for one. Okay, so let's move to the strategy testers, and on your screen you can see two strategy testers. The one is For MT5, this is the MT5 strategy tester, and I have run some tests before, so there's some results that have come out there. And this is the MT4 version of the strategy tester, and I'll just show you the differences. That's how the MT5 input looks, and that's how the MT4 input looks. So I'll go through this in a bit of detail, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to run these optimizations at the same time. So this machine that I'm using now is about 8,000 miles away. I'm using AnyDesk to contact this machine and use it elsewhere in the world. And this machine is a 64K RAM. It's an i9, so it's got a fast processor, and it has 24 cores and 32 processors, just for those of you who are technical. A lot of this cannot be done on laptops or underpowered desktops, and I must say for the MT4 you can use laptops and desktops, and you'll be able to do optimization. For MT5 possibly you need more resources, as we've seen. Okay, so let's start with MT5. So I'm loading the Make Money MT5 version. We're going to be testing the pound for a period of the 1st of July to the 1st of July 2025. We're going to do no forward testing, and we're doing zero latency. So in other words, immediate, which is fair for the Forex market. We're going to use open prices, and the reason why I'm using open prices is just for the speed. The results may not be as accurate as we'd want them to be, but they're going to be accurate enough. Believe me, they're going to be accurate enough. And we're going to use a deposit of $10,000, and we're going to use leverage of 100 to 1. And we're going to use the fast genetic based algorithm. So there's an algorithm that learns as it's doing the optimization. It sort of starts targeting those settings that are likely to produce the best results, so we get a better test. And what it does there is, instead of testing, let's say 6 million tests, it will only run 10,000 tests, because it homes in on the most effective ones. So that's how that one works. That's how that gets set up. And let's have a look at on the MT4 side. So we've also got the Make Money for MT4 pound, open prices, and there we are, the period. We have a spread. Now, I don't know MT5 very well, but the spread is not given as an option there. The period is 15 minutes, and there we are. I missed that point. There's the 15-minute option. And in this case, I have loaded that tick data suite that we have now, and we said we're going to use that tick data suite for this test. The other reason for using the tick data suite is it goes back 20 years, so I could never run out of history. There are limitations on never use broker data, and there are also limitations on MT5 data. Now there are some differences. You can see here we can't load the leverage into MT4, but when I'm using the MT5 the tick data suite, I can actually specify 100 to 1 leverage. The other thing that I was going to say is that MT5 has this option, which is a 1 minute option, which is faster than tick data and gives a reasonably accurate result, and allows you to use a different time frame. So you're using the 1 minute candles, but you're trading the 15-minute time frame. That is not possible on MT4. Just a little side note. It's just a speed thing. If you're doing 4-hour time frames and things like that. Okay, let's have a look. Is there anything else that stands out? The spread I've mentioned, I'm not sure where you put it. And look, I don't know MT5 very well, as you can realize. I don't trade that one that much. All right, so then what we do is in here they have inputs, which is basically the template that I showed you earlier. So here are the settings for the EA, and there you see the ticks. And let's just go up to the top, and I'll explain what I'm using here is an abbreviated template. The full template is as I've shown you before, but this one is an abbreviate where I just focus on the most critical settings. So what you would do here is you'd click on, let's say, the first MA. You'd say, I want to start at 2 steps of 2, and I want to go to 24. So it's already slightly different to the other template. And then the second one, I want to start with 3 steps of 3, and I want to go to 49. So that's what I'm testing at the moment. I've created my own template. You can either use mine, or you can use the one that I've shown you previously. Then the ADX period, again, you say start at 2, jumps of 2 to 16, and ADX trigger, you then put in those settings there. So I've identified the ones that I want to test. You don't need to test all of them, because there's only a few that actually impact results in a big way. Then you have the initial stop loss and initial take target, 20, jumps of 5 to 220, and let's just see what else we have here. And then we have the time of day, again, start at 0, go to 23, start at 1 and for closing, and go to 24. So those are the major settings that I'm testing today on that one. And so that's the way of setting up. And then here's the same process. It just displays slightly. It's more like the more traditional input, but the same principle applies. You tick and you state what you want. But so these are identical templates that I'm using here. 24. Okay, so we're testing exactly the same templates on both sets. We're testing the same time frame, we're testing the same period, the same currency, same EA, and we both testing the 15 minutes. So we can actually go now. Now what will happen is that sometimes you will start optimizing and you will get no results. So there are certain things to test, and let's just have a look if I can find a reference for you. So I have made a video with a 18 item checklist. Here it is. Solve your testing and optimization problems. So you just need to go through those 18 items in the checklist to see why you are getting 0 results, and you don't have to be as desperate as that lady. Anyway, so let's start our test, and we'll just, all you have to do then is click here on start, and I'm going to start the test here. So that's got optimization test ticked, and it will now start optimize. And there you can see it's starting to optimize. The results are starting to show over here. There's the profit figure. Let's have a look. So it's already saying around about 9,000 is the best. Oh no, 20,000 is the best, and it's going quite quickly. That green line shows you the progress of the testing. This one is testing. You can see this one's already done 600, and this one's at 300. So it's almost double the speed of the MT4, double the speed in this particular case for this particular test. and it's going to do 10,496 tests, and here you can see it's going to do 10,094 tests, but it's doing it a little bit slower, but it does speed up towards the end. So there we are, the tests are running. I think we can see the results here. Profits, and there, and that one's at the top, I think. Yeah, that's it. So there's the initial results. Nice 19,000 result. Remember, we are using very basic settings that we're testing, and that has doubled the account over that year. And the same, and the same thing here. We've got some results that have doubled. Now, so what you do is you update it every now and then. There we are. So it brings in a whole lot of new results as it's going on. And what we need to do then is just wait, and let's just see what. So the estimated time here is 7 minutes that's left. 7 minutes. It's already run 2 minutes, and it's running for 7 minutes. So it's quite fast. This is a fast machine. This one is it says I'm going to run for 25 minutes. Might be a little bit less, and only 2 minutes have already run. So the MT4 is a little bit slower than MT5. And I think that's one factor to take into account, but I think the resource factor is a problem. Comments I can make, you can see the results. They give you the balance on the account, the actual profit that was made, the total trades, expected payoff, that's per transaction, the drawdown percentage, which is quite good there, and then it tells you the moving averages that it's tested, the ADX readings that it's, and then the initial stop loss and take profit. And then it says I'm trading from 8 o'clock in the morning till 1300 hours. I think that is approximately only during the European session. I think the US session starts just after 1. So that's saying the European session is the most favorable. If we look here, and you can see this is in table format. I mentioned this earlier. This is not in table format. So when you import this into Excel, and how you do that is you just right click, and it says save as a report, and you save it as an Excel report, and then you can do that kind of thing. And this one is saying moving average of 18, second one is 45, ADX 12, trigger 10. 80 is the initial stop, take profit is 55, so on. So and this one says from 11 o'clock to 1700. So this one has a different strategy. It's actually trading most probably just before the US market opens and then halfway through. So you have to read the strategies as you see them. Let's see if this is updated a bit more. There you are, 22, and it's now finding better results. Let's see if this one is finding better results. No, it's stuck at 20, and it has another 4 minutes to run. Oh, it stopped. It's actually stopped the process. Sometimes it does that. There could be other reasons why it's done that, but we can take these results as they are for now. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop both of them because they produce reasonable. That one's done 7,000, but I think you get the point. Or what you would do is you just let them both run to the end, and then the most important point that I'm going to show you now is, and I'm going to stop this, is that once you've got a list of really good results, what you want to do is you want to get results that are good but have a low drawdown. Now this is the weakness of MT5, is that it gives the drawdown as a percentage. Now when you look at MT4, you'll see same thing has happened. There's the drawdown. So this EA is fantastic. Look at the drawdown, really low, low drawdown with a nice high result, and there's the drawdown percentage. So in this case, we can actually take those results that are there as usable results because the drawdown percentage is low. So what you're actually looking for, and this is why I sometimes export it to Excel, is I try and find the best drawdown, the lowest drawdown percentage compared to the income that gets generated, because that's what those are the safest settings to use, and that's the only adjustment that normally I wouldn't take the first result that comes through, but this one is so good that it is worth taking. Let me do an analysis on this one, and we'll sort the drawdowns. Okay, so there's some nice drawdowns, low drawdowns, but the income, the profit is quite low. So what you would do is you would say, all right, if I'm happy with income of, let's say, 11,500, that's income on $10,000 with a drawdown of 8%, then those are the settings that I'll use. I'm not going to use the best ones, because the best ones, let's just sort the best ones out again. The best ones have a drawdown of 12%. Now, if you think 12% is okay, then you can use that. This particular EA has a low drawdown, so the illustration isn't as clear as it could be. But as you can see, some of the results have got much higher drawdowns, and you must stay away from the high drawdown results and go for the ones with the lowest drawdowns. Just looking over here, 20,000 on a 9 is most probably safer than the 22,000 on a 12 drawdown. So that's the last step that you do. You do not just blindly take the biggest profit. You go for the settings that provide a good return, but also a low drawdown. But this basically has shown you how to optimize and then select the best settings that there are. But this is not the end. Now, it could be the end for you if you are, if you're in a hurry and you have got you in a hurry to make money or lose money. So the next step then would be you take those high income, low drawdown settings that we've selected, and you then do that over again for different time frames, different currencies, and you do that about 20 times. And that is why it's important that the processing can be done with low resources and a fast turnaround. Once you've got the results of 20 of those strategies, you would then forward trade them on demo accounts. You take the best 10 or so, use demo accounts, and you'd forward trade them for 8 weeks, or for 4 to 6 weeks. Now, why is that important? Firstly, these results were based on purchase data, or in MT4, 5-star, you don't know where the data's come from, and you need to apply it to your broker. So your broker might be completely different, might have different spreads, it might have different leverage, it might have a whole lot of other stuff that makes your results differ from what you've tested. The weekend cutoff is a typical one where some brokers differ by 3 hours on a weekend. So on Friday, some brokers close early, other ones close late, and the same happens on Monday morning. Some open early and some close open late. So there's a whole lot of reasons why you have to customize and test the settings on your own broker for a reasonable amount of time. And then only do you trade those strategies that you have confidence in trading on live accounts. That's really the way to completely then find your settings. Now, I hope you've learned something from this video. The purpose really was to show you, even if you haven't used the strategy testers at all before, that is the way you would use the strategy tester for MT5 and MT4 to find the settings that are best suited to produce really good results with low drawdowns. As always, links to anything mentioned in this video will be in the first comment and in the description of the video. If you have any questions, please mention them in the comments facility of the YouTube video. And from me, Alex Deploy, cheerio.